Hi guys, it's Mona. Today's video is a what I eat in a day quarantine immunity style. So I want to share a few meals that I've been having that are super good for your immunity to keep us extra healthy right now. Also very filling and also easy things you can make in the house. I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting sick of literally cooking every single meal. So I'm trying to find some things that are a little bit easy, but also fill me up. Almost everything I used here, I got from Thrive Market. I think especially now, I'm super appreciative of getting groceries delivered. So I will link everything that I use below. If you guys are new to Thrive Market, it's basically a membership website where you can get all of your groceries. So they have literally the same exact organic, amazing foods that you'd find at like Whole Foods, but sometimes 25 to 50% off the price. And I love that you can search on there, like you can search by gluten-free, you can search by paleo, by vegan, so you can literally search the whole site like that. And they also have a lot of great household stuff. So I will link everything below and also give you guys a link for my Thrive Market link, which gives you $10 or $20 off your first order. Okay, so I wanna walk you through everything that I had today. Basically what I started out with is this amazing oatmeal dish that I have been having for the last 2 months, like on repeat. If you follow me on Instagram, you see me post about it. I'm completely obsessed. I did a little twist with it today because normally I cook it with Earl Grey. That's like the flavor I've been liking, but I really wanted to get some immune boosting and try out something new. So I'm trying an elderberry tea. So the way you cook this oatmeal is on the stove. So one thing I do is I do half milk and half water. Normally I cook my oatmeal in water, but I think the milk just really gives it like a creamy like texture and it makes it a lot more fulfilling. Of course, I'm talking about vegan milk. I've never ever consumed dairy. So the coconut milk that I've been loving for the last, I'd say 6 to 8 months is by Native. So there's a specific reason I like this coconut milk. Most plant milks that you find, except for a few different brands, have guar gum or xanthan gum or fillers, and I'd really recommend avoiding these when you can. They're very sticky. That's kind of what makes a lot of foods stick together, and they can actually lead to leaky gut. They're just really bad for you to consume all the time. So if there's a plant milk you're gonna be having all the time, I'd recommend having one that doesn't have that. So this brand Native actually comes with a few different kinds. Make sure it says simple on it. This is the one that does not have any guar gum. It even says no guar on the bottom. So I just have this like in my cabinet. Of course, sometimes I like to make my own almond milk or walnut milk, but you know, I'm cooking everything in quarantine, so I'm getting a little sick of it. So this has been my go-to. So I basically do 1/2 cup of coconut milk, 1/2 cup of water, put that on the stove, and then you're gonna put your tea bag right in the pot and simmer it a little bit. So we're using elderberry tea because it's so good for you. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of like elderberry syrup or elderberry supplements. It's great for your immunity. A lot of people take it preventatively. So we're gonna add this essence into our oatmeal. And oatmeal in itself is a whole grain. You know, you can get a gluten-free kind. You can make sure you get organic just to keep it as healthy as possible right now. But oatmeal is filled with zinc, which is good for your immunity. It's got beta glucans, which is great for your immunity. So it's just a really good, easy staple. It's inexpensive. You can stock up on it. It's just a great one to have. So once the tea simmers a little bit, you're gonna do 1 cup of liquid to 1/2 cup oatmeal. So you're gonna add in your 1/2 cup of oatmeal, mix it around for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It cooks pretty quickly. And then you're done. Of course, I always add cinnamon to everything because it adds flavor with no sugar, and it also helps regulate your hormones and blood sugar. So it's just literally a no-brainer. Add cinnamon to everything you can. And then I topped it off with some coconut flakes because, you know, when it comes to food combining, coconut goes really well. It adds a lot of extra little flavor. I also put a little bit of almond butter because just a little scoop like really fills you up and it just gives it this amazing texture. I also had some blueberries. I've eaten most of them already, but I like to always start my day with fruit. Most of you guys know that. Whether it's a green juice or green smoothie or fruit, the first thing I consume, I like to be some sort of like organic fresh produce because that's what your body is gonna absorb the most in the morning. So try to have it be like really fresh and healthy. And then this is kind of how the oatmeal comes out. I do have a little coffee here. I've been living off of Four Sigmatic coffee. I also really like having this coffee specifically during quarantine because it does have added adaptogens. So listen, anything we can do to keep our immunity strong for the next year, I think is super important to just stay on top of because prevention is key. So this is how the oatmeal comes out. You can't really tell from the video, but it's like The tea just adds this like essence of creaminess. It's actually insane. Those of you who've been reposting it on Instagram are like dying over it. So it's really good. I'm gonna take a little bite. Oh my God. So good. If you guys make this, tell me in the comments. Honestly, this might be top 3 recipes. Like, I can't recommend it enough. It's game changing for oatmeal. So make sure you try it. So today for lunch, I had a vegan grilled cheese and tomato soup because it's so comforting and it's just one of those meals like grilled cheese and tomato soup. It goes well together. So because grilled cheese isn't the most healthy immune boosting meal, I figured you can add a little bit. So one tip I have when it comes to eating healthy is don't necessarily think about like, I can't have this because it's not healthy, or I can't have that. First of all, it's vegan, so you're already on the right track by avoiding dairy. Dairy is just inflammatory, it's acidic. You know, even when you're sick, your doctors often tell you to avoid dairy because it causes mucus buildup. So this is a great time to experiment with that. So we're using vegan cheese, we're using organic sprouted bread, but just to make it a little healthier, I did some sauteed kale and mushrooms. And let me just tell you, it's so good. Adding kale, first of all, I think kale raw can be a little bit hard to digest. I mean, if you really massage it and like spend some time, but we're cooking a lot, so we're trying to make it easy. So if you just saute it a little bit with some olive oil and add some mushroom. When I cook with olive oil, I always make sure to cook on low heat because olive oil at high heat can produce toxins. So it's always best to cook olive oil on low heat. And then if you want to cook at high heat, the safest oil for that is avocado oil. But I did olive oil for this. So I literally just sauteed some kale, then I added mushrooms after, and then took that off the pan. And basically for grilled cheese, you just take 2 slices of bread. So I used Ezekiel organic, like sprouted bread. It's not gluten-free, but it's whole grain, like sprouted, and I feel okay with it when it's Ezekiel. So then you butter one side of each slice of bread. I use Miyoko's vegan butter. Miyoko's is one of my favorite vegan cheese brands because it doesn't have a lot of fillers. It doesn't have any xanthan gum. This one's like cashew based with a little bit of coconut oil. So you basically just butter both sides, put it on the pan. Then I added 1 slice of cheese on each bread and put on a littill bit of the sauteed kale and mushrooms, put it together and just cook it until brown. Vegan cheese doesn't melt like perfectly, so you gotta leave it on just till it like almost burns, but not burns, just to like help it melt a little bit. For tomato soup, the brand is Pacific. Definitely not homemade tomato soup. If you guys want a recipe, I have actually found a few good ones that I've been meaning to experiment with, but we're just trying to keep it simple during quarantine. So I like the brand Pacific because it's organic. So this is what the grilled cheese looks like. Oh my God, it smells so good. If you don't like kale, this is such a great way to get it in. Like, find creative ways to throw it in, mixed in with the cheese and the bread and the mushroom. Like, it's just, you wouldn't even notice it. So definitely try this recipe. So I've been really liking a snack between lunch and dinner because I feel like it's kind of a longer time frame and I usually do get a little bit hungry. So one thing I've been having a lot of is turmeric lattes. This one is also 4-sigmatic. I mean, there's a ton of different kinds you can get, but I do like the 4-sigmatic one. It's just super easy. I also add the same coconut milk just because I feel like it fills me up a little more. Like, that coconut milk, while it's very healthy, is actually pretty high in fat, so it does keep you full longer. Combined with the walnuts and the goji berries, the healthy fats from the coconut and walnut like will give you a good amount of energy. So one thing I'd recommend is if you want like an instant burst of energy, instead of having maybe caffeine or sugar, which most people know will give them energy, healthy fats will actually give you the fastest energy without spiking your insulin and without keeping you up at night. So I'm way more sensitive to caffeine lately. I think it's because during quarantine, I'm sure subconsciously I'm a little bit anxious with what's going on in the world, and I feel like I just haven't been sleeping as well. So I really try to only have like 1 caffeinated drink in the morning, and then later in the day I'll do like my dandy blend latte, which is in a different video, or I'll do something like this. Just having kind of like a little latte is a nice little afternoon like treat too. It's just kind of cozy. Now for immunity, turmeric is just one of the most incredible things. I mean, I'm sure if you've gone to a juice shop or a smoothie shop, you can get a shot of turmeric for immunity, or ginger. So whether you're having a ginger latte or turmeric latte, it's really gonna be great. I also have been having a lot of goji berries, which are incredible for immunity. They have antioxidants. Goji berries are just such a high antioxidant packed dried fruit. They're actually the only dried fruit I like because generally dried fruit is higher in sugar, there's no water, it's a little bit harder to digest, so I don't like to have it. I'd rather have fresh fruit, but because you can't really find goji berries fresh, I mean, if you guys know of a place where you can find them fresh, please tell me. I'd love to try, but I've never seen them fresh anywhere, and I want to get the benefits of them, so it's like one thing I like. And when they're dried, when it comes to food combining, which I'm not a huge stickler on, but if you do want to try food combining, dried fruit pairs better with like a nut or a seed because it's digested a little bit slower. It's not like a fresh fruit that digests super quickly. So we've got the goji berries and the walnuts. And one cool thing about walnuts is that research shows they can actually help reduce like psychological stress, which I think is also super important right now. And I always recommend thinking big picture. Stress can absolutely lower your immunity. So when we're talking immunity, make sure that you're taking all measures to keep your mind and body healthy. It's not just about what you're eating. It's your body listens to what your mind is thinking or even what you say. So pay attention to everything. This is just the best time to be kind to ourselves and really try to, keep ourselves at peace and stay happy. So this is a really great combo. I also like with the coconut milk, if you don't like the taste of turmeric, it makes it a little bit creamier. I also added a few drops, actually just like 2 little drops of turmeric extract. So turmeric extract is pretty strong tasting. I would recommend kind of experimenting with it, but if you want like a nice natural supplement that also gives you great anti-inflammatory benefits, this is a great one to add in. I like mixing it in with the latte because it's not such a strong, like if you add it to water, it's gonna be pretty harsh, but because you've already got the turmeric here, you mix it together, it just kind of vibes well. So I put 2 very small drops, experiment yourself. Like if you like the taste of turmeric, you might want a little bit more, but this is the amount I like. And then, if you wanna add a little bit of cinnamon or nutmeg, that always helps everything. So I'm gonna have a little sip of this. It's really good, really cozy. Be careful with turmeric. I don't know if you can see my nail right now, but it fully dyed my nail, which is super frustrating, but just be careful with it. It can stain everything really easily. Okay, so for dinner, I wanted something, again, kind of filling and warm, but I wanted to add in a little more veggies because I didn't have that many veggies during the day. I had a little bit of the kale at lunch, but doing a spinach salad. So just literally really simple, baby spinach, apple cider vinegar and olive oil, and then some raw pumpkin seeds. So apple cider vinegar, not only is it great for your health, for your immunity, I mean, it's cool because it's known to have a lot of different properties like antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, like there's lots of different studies that show its benefits, but it also really helps you digest. So there's one digestive enzyme a lot of people will take called betaine, and some people can't tolerate it, but one other way to go around that is to just add some apple cider vinegar. That acid really helps you digest. So if you have a hard time with certain things that make you bloat, I would try just, adding it onto your salad. The spinach is packed with vitamin C. The pumpkin seeds are packed with vitamin E. Both of these are really great for your immunity. And I always like to have like some kind of like raw salad or something first before dinner, whether it's before lunch or dinner. The oil and vinegar, if you add a little bit of oregano, the oregano adds a lot of flavor and again is amazing for your immunity. There's this place in LA called Earth Bar, and if they do oregano oil, garlic, lemon, turmeric, it's the most disgusting drink ever, but I swear when you take a shot of it, like your cold is gone the next day. So this isn't like a kind of watered down version of that. If you want to add some like oregano spice to things, it's really, really healthy. And then for dinner, I did a quinoa stir fry. So I wanted to choose quinoa as a grain because it's a higher protein grain. So we're gonna get a little more protein here. It's full of amino acids that are also really great for your immunity. And then we just basically loaded it with veggies. So I've got broccoli and peppers. One thing about peppers is they're really underrated because they have more vitamin C than an orange. And I feel like whenever we think like you're sick, I need vitamin C, you think of an orange, but no one ever thinks of peppers. So add some red peppers, like stir fry them. I like even the baby bell peppers in the bag. I just eat those as a snack. I've posted that a lot too. So it's a good one to add in here. Then I also added some beets. Beets are probably one of the healthiest foods on the planet. Like they're super high in antioxidant. They're great for preventing cancer and other disease. I think they're one of the highest like anti-cancer foods. So just, you know, whatever you can do to add them in, whether it's like in a juice, in a smoothie. I love the brand Love Beets. They sell these also on Thrive Market, but you could find it at a grocery store too. They're pre-cooked and they don't have anything added to them. So a lot of times you find pre-cooked beets, like they add a little bit of oil or a little something. These are super clean. They're just basically steamed. Cooking a beet can be really annoying because you have to boil it or bake it, and it's, again, almost like turmeric. I chose like 2 super messy foods because it stains everything, but buying them pre-cooked is great. I just keep them, I basically open them out of the vacuum seal, put them in a Tupperware, and then I'll eat them like throughout the week or whatever. If you add a little bit to your stir fry and cook them in, it almost gives it this little like pink color, which is kind of nice too, just like visually appealing. So overall, this is a really filling meal. You know, probably makes more than 1 serving. It's quite a lot that I did. It was about a half a cup of quinoa and then, you know, cooked. It kind of fluffs up. So however much you want to eat, but I could easily finish this plate off because I like bigger portions since I don't snack as much and it just helps me digest more. All right. So good. Just super fresh tasting, but filling. You can also feel free to like spice this up however you want. If you want to add a little nutritional yeast or like garlic powder, whatever you want, you know, kind of make it your own. But the base in itself, it's just, I know a lot of people feel that vegan meals or veggie meals aren't fulfilling or, you know, won't like give you that satisfaction. Like this is a really nice, like comforting meal. You'll feel really full after. And the protein in the quinoa will also keep you full. So good. One thing I'd really recommend, if you don't like lettuce and greens, especially like the darker greens, which are better for you, let the vinegar or olive oil sit on it for like 10-15 minutes. It really softens it up. Like this is delicious. I'm not big on like dry spinach. Like I'm not, that doesn't sound amazing to me to take a bite into, but this, like, you can even see it almost like wilts it a little bit and it makes it better. So I could even take a little bit of this and combine it together. Really good. So I do read a lot of your comments, and I've been noticing in some of my what I eat in a day that you guys feel it's not enough calories, or maybe like it's like under eating. I definitely want to address this because that's absolutely not something I'd ever promote or believe in. I genuinely think that some people underestimate how many nutrients and calories vegetables have, like, you know, grains, vegetables, seeds, nuts. Like this adds a good amount of protein and fat and carb. So I actually calculated this whole thing. I don't track my calories, I don't track my macros, but I wanted to for the purpose of this video, just to give you guys a general understanding. So if you eat the whole like dish of quinoa that we made and everything, it would be around 1,900 to 2,000 calories. I'm literally gonna add a chart in the description just so you guys can see, and we can kind of put this to rest. Vegetables can absolutely fill you up, and a 2,000 calorie diet a day is very substantial. So I hope that helps anyone and, you know, clears up any confusion. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some great inspo. By the way, you can hear the ice cream truck outside, which is really nice because it's reminding me of summer. So we've got that. But I hope you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it and saw how easy these recipes are and just how easy it is to incorporate high nutrient, like immune boosting foods. It's so simple, and there's so many little things, like just throwing in a little bit of vinegar, throwing in some pumpkin seeds, like doing that little step to make it healthier for you. And try these and you'll see these meals are actually a lot better like than you'd think of like just a full day of eating vegan or veggie. So I hope you enjoyed. Again, most of this stuff I got from Thrive Market. I'm gonna link everything below for all the dry food that's not produce. And I will also put my link for Thrive Market below so that you can get $10 or $20 off your first order. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.